When it comes to work-life balance, has your equilibrium felt maybe just a bit off? Even those who work for employers with great flex time options, paid time off, and other perks say that adapting during the pandemic has been a struggle. I'm joined by Nancy DeBoer of She Leads Michigan, former mayor of Holland. Nancy, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure. This is an exciting program.
Nancy, even without COVID, creating that work-life balance can be really tough, especially for working parents.
It really can. Many of the rhythms of life have been kind of disruptive. And now we have all these rhythms happening at the same time, and they're all at home on top of each other. And it's not often pretty or harmonious.
No, everything's changing. And it's times like this that it's so important to connect and to learn from each other. So today, Nancy, you have the story of one woman who's balancing work, family, and faith. It's our heart and soul connections.
I'm here with Erin Mercino. And Erin, I can't help but wonder, how do you do it as a successful attorney, married to a successful attorney, raising five sons? What helps you stay like centered and balanced as a person through all of that?
Only God. So only through the grace of God. And I'm not shy about asking God for more grace when it's needed. And also finding time for spiritual disciplines, waking up in the morning and centering your day. I wake up and I pray. And throughout the day, my children and I pray together. And then at night, every night we do family dinner together and we all sit down and we talk about our day. We begin our dinner with a prayer, asking for God's grace. And it's just a wonderful time to have a true conversation with each other, talk about challenges that we're facing and our gratitude for blessings that the day has brought as well.
Wow, that is beautiful. And I'm sure that brings a heart to heart connection with your family and with each other. That's great. How do you switch worlds? Like one day you're presenting a case at the Supreme Court, and the next you're changing diapers and organizing laundry. Do you have any tips for us about all that?
um, well, I think it's easier to actually see the importance of my work as an attorney, because when I submit a brief and it's to the United States Supreme Court, it's published and it looks very fancy and you can see the hard work that's poured into it. But I think it's more difficult as a mom to credit yourself for all of the heart and soul that you pour into the work with your kids every day. And it's just as important, actually, probably more important. And nothing that we do as moms, as women, is insignificant. Every act of mercy that we give toward our children is so good and so wonderful. So I think, taking time to make sure that you understand, just how important the work you do as a parent is.
That's true. And that's what we have to do in our minds, right? And also your youngest son, Jacob, is 2. And I understand that pregnancy with him was unique. Could you tell us about Jacob?
Sure. So when I went for my first ultrasound with Jacob, the ultrasound technician seemed like something was a bit off. And then I was put in a room with my doctor, and she explained that there were significant abnormalities in the ultrasound. And she thought that Jacob either had trisomy 18 or trisomy 21, which is Down syndrome. And so I emailed all of my friends and said, please, could you help me and pray for this baby and pray for me too. And I immediately got back an email from one of my friends who I served on a school board with. And she happened to be an OBGYN. And she said, let me help you. Let me be your doctor. And from there on out, it was just such an outpour of God's grace. So Jacob did have Down syndrome, and he wasn't actually expected to live. It looked like he had some significant issues with his heart. Throughout the pregnancy, everything cleared up. So as we went from ultrasound to ultrasound, the diagnosis just continued to improve, which was such a tremendous blessing. And through that, through that trial, I really believe just we were called to even a closer relationship with God. And I felt like God kept, whispering in my ear to read Judges 6:12, which is God is with you, you mighty warrior. And as a mom, I don't necessarily feel like I'm nailing it every day, especially during the pandemic with, homeschooling and all of these wonderful challenges that we've been facing. But just God is with us. And it's also something that I put on all of my oral arguments that I do in the corner. I just write, God is with you. And I believe that, gives me strength and hope, and it just opens my eyes to the tremendous blessings that God gives us, even when it's something that we don't expect.
That is so beautiful and such a source of strength for all of us, for you to share your vulnerabilities, Erin, and for God to have shown up to walk with you through all of this. We thank you so much for sharing your story.
Oh, thank you.
And we move on to Julie.
Thank you, Nancy, for this interview. To watch the full hour-long episode of She Speaks featuring Erin and her family, head to our website, WLHJ.com, and click Heart and Soul Connections.